The BMW Z3M Coupe, or commonly known as the Clown Shoe, is a truly unique and special car from its era. With only 821 European right-hand drive S50 engine examples such as this one being produced, it's rare too. Although during its period of manufacturing between 1998 and 2002, the Z3M Coupe wasn't popular, fine examples like these are quickly becoming very desirable. Today, I'm taking a look at this 2000 Z3M Coupe finished in Dakar yellow here at Renaissance Classics in Surrey. But first, what's it like to drive?
Well, I've literally just jumped in and already it feels really nice and tight. Its throttle response is actually pretty instantaneous, and there's also got that nice sort of, when you let off it kicks you, feel like the Z4Ms do as well. The gearbox is really nice. It's very, very short throws. It's a completely different sort of gearbox to anything I've felt in a BMW before. But yeah, the throws are really, really short and sort of, again, quite a tight feeling gearbox. As you may expect, the Z3M doesn't actually have any driving aids. Well, I think it's got ABS, but that is about it. And now the rain has started to come down, classic for the weekend. I'm having to take it nice and steadily because obviously, I'm sure with 320 brake horsepower under my right foot, in such a light car, that back will probably quite happily step out without much provoking. As I'm sure you can hear as well, this car does make a very nice sound, and it is the same sound, in fact, that you'll get from, I think it's the E30 M3 or the S50 or S52 engine. I should really brush up on my facts before, but yeah, it is that sound from that generation of M3, and it is really nice and metallic like you get in the Z4M as well. One thing I love, guys, is in the mirrors you can just see the really nice wide hips, the wide arches of this car. It clearly has a lot of road presence. I can see other drivers looking, but I'm not surprised with this one being finished in a stunning Dakar yellow. It is one of only, I think, 50 ever finished in this colour. So yeah, a really special thing to look at, and it definitely gets looked at on the road. I think the road presence, kudos to this car, is quite high. So I feel super, super lucky to have been given this opportunity to drive this car by Renaissance Classics today, because, like I say, there's only about 50 of these Dakar yellow Z3M Coupes ever produced. And not just that, there's only, I think, 800 total of the right-hand drive variants produced worldwide. So yeah, it's such a rare opportunity to be behind the wheel of these cars. And do you know what, I haven't even seen more than, I think, 2 or 3 in my entire life. So yeah, to now be driving it is really, really special. And I have to say, this car is from, I think, 2000, and it doesn't feel like it. That's almost as old as me, and yeah, it still feels really well put together. We were just laughing actually because we've discovered that there is a temperature gauge in the middle. It's got 3 really nice dials in the middle of the center console here, and yeah, there's like a really quirky little outside temperature gauge, which I thought was quite cool. And it's reading that today is +10, which is rather balmy for February. But anyway, I digress, because yeah, this thing is actually lovely to drive. Doesn't feel old at all. My only complaint so far would probably be the steering wheel. Just sort of the shape of it. It's not quite as nice to grasp your hands around, but you know, it certainly doesn't put away from the driving experience at all. It's still got the nice M emblem that you find in the newer cars with the stitching as well on the wheel. And you know, I have to say, still in incredibly good condition for the age of this car. as we are now sitting in classic Saturday traffic, I've noticed a couple of things. The clutch is, well, it's quite hard to get a grasp of. It's quite it's a very nice feeling clutch, but it's very precise, which makes it hard to get it perfectly right. But it's got a really nice feel to it. The other thing I've noticed is the actual sort of can you call it a pedal box? Where the pedals are, it's actually quite narrow. There's a big sort of piece of carpet that sticks out on the left-hand side where your clutch foot goes. So I often find myself catching that when I'm going for the clutch. So yeah, it's a very sort of tight setup. You've got everything really close to you. The wheel's really close. You've got the gear stick really close, and these pedals are very close as well. Obviously, I can move my seat back, which they're electric. They're electric seats, which I found surprising. But yeah, it's all very sort of tight and enclosed, and yeah, it feels really good. It feels like you just want to grab it and bring it through the corners, which is, I guess, what this car was ultimately designed for back in the day. Well, it really does pick up. It still feels fast. So guys, we are actually conveniently coming up to the Hindhead Tunnel, which if you know, you know, but if you don't know, it's, I think, one of the longest tunnels in the UK, probably in the top 5. I don't really know. It's a long tunnel, and a perfect opportunity to hear how this lovely engine sounds. Another quirky little feature, in addition to this temperature gauge in the middle here, is where the lights are located in the Z3M. If you have a Z4, you'll know that and most BMWs, I think, the sort of light switches here on the right hand side, it's the same in this car. However, it's like a little sort of circular sort of knob, which I'd say it looks aftermarket, but you actually just pull it out to get your side lights, and then once more for the full lights. Yeah, it's just a nice little quirky feature. I don't think I've ever seen that on a different car before. It is a torquey engine as well. Obviously, I mentioned about it being about 320 brake horsepower. I'm not sure on the exact torque figures, but I'm just in 5th gear now on the A3. We only have 5 gears. It's a 5-speed manual, not a 6-speed. And yeah, 60 miles per hour if you floor it. You know, that's 70, and it seems to pick up very nicely, even at around 3,000 RPM. There does still seem to be a sufficient amount of power there, and it's a very linear power delivery, I'd say. It's progressive. It's the higher you go through the rev range, the more you're getting from the car, and it does make it very, very exciting to drive. Obviously, this being a very special classic, I want to treat it with utmost respect, and I think I think I've still got an incredibly good sense for what this car can do, and why it is in fact so special. So guys, we're going to head back to Renaissance Classics now. This has been brilliant to drive, but I will catch up with you when we get back and summarise this whole experience for you.
Tell me your story. Tell me what made you change your mind.
We have now made it back in the Z3M to Renaissance Classics here in Surrey. I thought I'd just show you the outside of the car really quick, so you can get a sort of better idea of what these things look like and why they're so incredible to look at on the road. You can see those incredible wide, I've got to work on this pointy thing, haven't I? Those incredible wide arches at the back there really stick out. If I take you to the back of the car, you'll see what I mean even more. So yeah, look at the presence this thing has. It's those arches, man, they just go out for miles at the side of the car, and you really can, honestly, when you're driving it, see those in the wing mirror, and it looks awesome. It's got these deep dish alloys, which I think are really, really cool. You can see from here, you can literally look how deep they are. They obviously suit the car fabulously, and I think they are stock Z3M wheels, I'd imagine they are, but yeah, I mean, look at it. It's an absolute stunner. I really like these aggressive grills on the side of the car as well. Again, it's a lot more aggressive. Even the Z4M doesn't have that. It's only just got the BMW badge with an M. These have got some really nice styling grills, and of course, this being a car from the Millennium era, these aren't grills for aero. They are just grills for design, and they look awesome from the front as well. All in all, just it's a very special looking car, and you don't honestly see anything like it at all. I'm a real fan, actually. Do you know what? When I first saw or knew about these things ages ago, I didn't like them at all, but look at it. It really does grow on you, and now that I've been behind the wheel, it's the best car in the world. On the interior then, this is where things get really quirky. Obviously, you've only got a 5-speed manual gearbox, no 6-speed at all. You've got the window up and down buttons here in the center console, which I really like. You've still got similarities to what the Z4 is now, like the rear storage unit there. And this is what I was talking about in the video. I really like these temperature, analog temperature gauges here, and you've got a clock there as well. Really, really nice little touch, and yeah, it's really cool. The wheel, it's a bit of a monstrosity to look at. I'm not the biggest fan, but you've still got that classic M emblem there and the stitching on the wheel as well. And also, the dials are very similar layout to what we now have in these Z4s, with the fuel gauge, speedo, tachometer, and the water temperature with that nice M Coupe emblem in the middle of the tachometer there. So basically, the way this came about, I was driving past Renaissance Classics a few weeks back now. I thought I'd drop them an email because I saw this stunning Dakar yellow Z3M Coupe sitting outside, as it is now, of the showroom. So I dropped them an email, said could I come along, have a look at the car. They were very happy for me to come and film with the car, and then today when I turned up, I was told that I would be driving the car, which I wasn't expecting. So firstly, a massive, massive thank you to Renaissance Classics for inviting me down here today, and also letting me have a little go behind the wheel of the Z3M Coupe. That was, yeah, a brilliant, brilliant experience. I hope you guys enjoyed the ride along with me on my first drive in the car. My apologies if I didn't sort of give you all the information you wanted. Obviously, with these sorts of videos, I only get a limited amount of time to sort of really hone down what I want to say in the video, so it is always tricky to include everything, but my goodness, I hope it at least came across how much of an experience, how much of a joy it is to drive one of these cars. It is such a special car, but of course this very car is here because it is for sale right now at Renaissance Classics. So if you are interested, do check out the link in my description of this video, because even if you're not interested in the Z3M Coupe, there's an incredible inventory of cars that they have in the showroom at all times, but certainly today as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and thanks again to Renaissance Classics for making it possible. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I will see you very, very soon.